Welcome back to the Ambassador HQ podcast. We are live. It is great to be here today. Let's talk about community collaboration. That is our top priority.
Welcome to today's exploration into the source material. We are incredibly excited to have you with us because if you picture like a perfectly automated futuristic smart home, you usually picture this, seamless, frictionless utopia.
Right, like the ultimate algorithmic butler.
Exactly.
Where everything is optimized, entirely automated, and just completely effortless.
Yeah, but then you actually look at the people building that future, and suddenly that smart home is, a bit chaotic. Half the lights don't work if you sneeze in the wrong language, and everyone is standing around realizing they actually need to talk to each other just to figure out how to open the front door.
Yeah, it is the absolute definition of building the airplane while you're already flying it.
Okay, let's unpack this because we are putting you right in the middle of the people trying to build that future. Today we're looking at a recorded strategy session from the makers or ambassador community, and this is from August 18, 2026. Yeah. And our mission here is to extract the ultimate masterclass on global community building, the shifting landscape of tech influence, and really look at why human skills are becoming the most valuable currency in an AI-dominated world.
And we should note, this isn't some dry corporate meeting.
Oh, not at all.
It's a global brain trust. I mean, we're talking spanning from the U.S. to Zambia. And for anyone listening who needs to navigate the modern tech sector, this material offers a really raw, unfiltered look at what leaders are actually struggling with right now.
Yeah.
It's the reality on the ground, completely removed from those polished marketing brochures.
Right, and to understand that reality, you have to look at the sheer scale these leaders are dealing with just to set a baseline goal. I mean, they literally had to move their monthly meeting to noon Eastern Standard Time just to ensure international members weren't dialing in at midnight in their pajamas.
Which is such a real logistical headache, and that global scale perfectly sets the stage for Alina. So she's a community leader based in Lusaka, Zambia.
Yeah, and Lusaka is a massive hub.
Exactly. She notes it has over 16 universities, and she has organically grown her local Google developer community to over 1,000 members.
Wait, over 1,000?
It's over 1,000, yeah.
That's wild, especially because she is balancing a master's degree in cybersecurity at the same time.
Right.
While organizing massive events. Like, she ran a cybersecurity bootcamp that pulled in over 2,000 signups across Africa.
Which is just staggering.
Yeah, and the thing is, she doesn't do this through sheer passion.
Yeah.
She is ruthlessly pragmatic.
Oh, absolutely. She relies on her Google Calendar to set incredibly strict timelines. She specifically warns against the trap of expecting a 6-month goal to magically happen in 4 months.
Right. If we wait, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if we connect this to the bigger picture, goal setting at that scale isn't about willpower.
Right.
Willpower is an emotional resource, and emotions simply don't scale. Alina succeeds because she offloads the entire cognitive burden to her calendar. The system executes the goal, and she just follows the system.
Which is such a contrast to another leader in the session, Liz.
Yes.
Liz was incredibly vulnerable, actually. She admitted she's trying to lose 20 to 30 pounds, but her cheat days routinely turn into cheat weekends.
Right, which totally breaks down her progress.
Exactly. It highlights the human friction of execution when you rely on willpower instead of a rigid system. It's sort of like building a skyscraper.
How do you mean?
Well, you can have the most beautiful visionary rendering of the building, but you need the boring architectural blueprints before you pour a single ounce of concrete.
That's a great analogy.
But let me ask you this. Are we, especially in tech, maybe too obsessed with selling that visionary outcome rather than focusing on the mundane daily systems required to actually get there?
Oh, absolutely. We love the romance of the destination, but we resist the reality of the commute.
Right.
Vision is easy to pitch to investors, but daily discipline is incredibly hard to maintain.
Yeah.
But as Alina's proves, the boring roadmap is the only thing that actually sustains a community.
Right. So Alina's proves that rigid, boring systems are how you amass 1,000-person community. But, a massive community is just a list of names if you don't know how to mobilize them.
Exactly.
And that's the exact friction point another leader, Philippa, is solving. She is building what is basically a de facto agency for tech influencers.
Yeah, she is moving entirely away from the solitary creator model.
Right, where everyone is fighting for brand scraps. And she explicitly compares her new model to the Wu-Tang Clan.
I love that. It is a brilliant strategic pivot, honestly. These tech creators collaborate collectively for brand campaigns to maximize their leverage, but they maintain their own distinct individual identities and niches.
Wait, the Wu-Tang Clan. So you're saying they're abandoning the solo creator grind to form like a tech influencer union?
That is the precise dynamic, yeah. And she already has the proof of concept. She ran the Microsoft Fabric Data Days, which pulled in 4,270 participants.
Wow.
Yeah, over 6 different events.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And here is the massive paradigm shift she reveals. Follower counts do not matter.
Right.
What actually matters is a creator's technical niche and their fluency. Like, can they speak authentically about data ontologies?
Exactly.
Which, just for you listening, data ontologies are essentially how we map out the relationships between different pieces of data. So AI and software systems can actually understand how concepts connect to one another.
Yeah, it's highly specialized.
Super specialized.
Yeah.
And to unlock the logistics of paying all these independent experts, Philippa uses a platform called Deal.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it lets her easily distribute payments to 180 countries, which she proved by seamlessly paying an intern in India.
What's fascinating here is how clearly this shows the creator economy in tech maturing.
Yeah.
I mean, the value has shifted from sheer broad reach to concentrated authority.
Yeah.
Brands just don't want a perfectly curated lifestyle aesthetic anymore. They want deep, provable subject matter expertise, and they want collective bargaining power.
It is the difference between being a solo indie band, playing in a garage, hoping a record exec walks by, versus organizing a fully backed, multi-stage music festival.
That's exactly it.
You bring everyone together, and suddenly the massive brands have to pay attention. But I had to push back on this a little.
Okay, sure.
If audience size truly doesn't matter anymore, how do these enterprise tech brands actually measure the return on investment of partnering with this Wu-Tang Clan model?
Well, the brands aren't buying the influencer's massive audience. They are buying the influencer's credibility to activate an audience that the brand brings to the table, or an audience that gathers purely for a hyper-specific topic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like if you are selling enterprise-level data software, 1,000 deeply engaged data engineers are infinitely more valuable than 1 million casual lifestyle followers.
Right, because of the conversion rate.
Exactly. It's about the density of the technical talent in the room.
That shifts the perspective completely. Now, this global collaboration sounds incredibly seamless on paper,
Yeah.
but crossing borders exposes some massive friction points in modern technology.
Oh, definitely.
And the WTM group dives right into this, specifically around language and accessibility.
Yeah. Alexis highlights some incredible new Google features that are bridging these gaps on the consumer side.
Right.
She points out American Sign Language, or ASL, closed captioning on the Chrome phone. And there was this live demo with Trevor Noah that seamlessly connected New York to a French-speaking grandmother in Africa.
Yeah, but here's where it gets really interesting, because Liz jumps in and points out a severe bottleneck on the developer side.
Yes, the AI prompting issue.
Exactly. Actively prompting AI or using semantic document and vector search is incredibly English-centric. And for those listening, semantic search is where the AI doesn't just look for keyword matches, but it mathematically maps words to understand the actual contextual meaning of a document.
Right, it's very complex.
Very. And Liz mentions that trying to repeatedly prompt AI in an intermediate second language, like French, is frustrating enough to literally induce expletives.
Oh, I can imagine.
I mean, if you've ever tried to order a highly complex, hyper-customized coffee in a foreign country where you only speak a few tourist phrases, you know exactly the exhaustion Liz is talking about.
Yeah, and this friction is happening against the backdrop of massive macro global issues. The group discusses the real-world problems the tech community wants to solve via global hackathons.
Right, big global challenges.
Exactly. Things like climate change, the severe water shortages in Puerto Rico, the effects of El Nino, and supply chain disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz.
Right, which are huge, complex problems. But it makes you wonder, are we accidentally building the most advanced technology in human history on a foundation that locks out half the globe?
What do you mean?
Well, if the underlying infrastructure of the AI we're using to solve these global infrastructure problems heavily favors native English speakers, we have a massive blind spot.
It is a critical vulnerability. As the session highlights, while consumer-facing translation tools look magical, the underlying developer infrastructure remains highly exclusionary.
Yeah.
If the semantic search models don't fundamentally understand the structural nuance of non-English languages, then the people closest to those global challenges in places like Zambia or Puerto Rico are operating at a severe technological disadvantage.
Right. So if the technology is becoming this complex and honestly somewhat exclusionary, how do everyday professionals survive the shift?
Well, the answer they arrive at is wonderfully ironic. You survive by becoming more human.
Yeah, the job market is fundamentally shifting to reflect this. Startups and corporations are desperately searching for human translators.
Exactly.
They need professionals who can bridge the gap between the advanced tech makers and the practical everyday needs of the end users, like designers or ad agencies.
And there is a massive growing backlash against AI automation. Liz shares a stunning anecdote about a recent LinkedIn job post.
Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, the employer explicitly asked applicants not to use AI to write their cover letter. Guess what happened?
88% used AI anyway.
88%.
And the employer caught them because of Anthropic's text watermarking.
Right.
Which is fascinating because it works by having the AI subtly manipulate the probability of certain word choices, leaving this invisible statistical signature that employers can mathematically scan for.
Which is brilliant, but think about the numbers. Out of 1,000 applications, only about 18 people actually wrote it themselves.
Wait, really? Just 18?
Just 18 out of 1,000. And of those 18, only a handful were decent writers.
That is wild.
Yeah, the ultimate takeaway here is that the absolute basics like reading, writing, presenting, and showing authentic human interest are now premium skills.
Yeah. This raises an important question, though, about the fundamental value of human attention in the modern economy.
How so?
Because AI can generate endless, flawless content at zero cost, authentic human communication is suddenly the only thing that cannot be artificially scaled.
Right. Scarcity creates value. Empathy, unscripted curiosity, clear, human-driven synthesis, those are incredibly rare right now.
So what does this all mean? Using AI to write a cover letter when you're explicitly asked not to is basically like sending a plastic mannequin to a networking event in your place.
Oh, totally.
Sure, it looks like a person from across the room, but the second someone tries to have a nuanced conversation, the illusion shatters.
Uh-huh.
But I have to ask you, if AI is doing all the heavy lifting for our daily communication, are humans actually losing their baseline cognitive fitness?
That's a scary thought.
Right. Is it like losing muscle mass because we are floating in the zero gravity of generative AI?
That is the exact fear driving the corporate backlash. When we outsource our reading, summarizing, and writing to an algorithm, we aren't just saving time. We are bypassing the actual cognitive friction required to form an original thought. The participants recognize that if you don't practice those fundamental skills, they atrophy. The professionals who refuse to let their cognitive muscles atrophy are the ones who will become those highly paid translators the industry desperately needs.
Wow. It has been quite a journey with this source material today. We started by looking at the raw discipline required to set local goals in Zambia.
Right.
And then we unpacked how to build a global Wu-Tang style tech agency where niche fluency trumps follower counts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And finally, we arrived at the profound realization that basic human communication skills are becoming the ultimate differentiator in an AI-saturated world.
It's so true.
So to you, our listener, we want to ask, audit your own skills today. Are you actively acting as a human translator in your field, connecting complex ideas to real human needs? Or are you just relying on the AI to do the talking for you?
And as you ponder that, consider the logical extreme of this technology. If authentic human communication is becoming a corporate luxury, what happens to our personal lives? In a decade, will we need digital signature verification just to know if a thoughtful, customized I love you text from a spouse was actually written by them?
Join the conversations and share your updates. Share your asks, needs, and plans for the future together this month. Fellow bridge builders, let's make it happen.